You ain't got the headphones on.
Welcome to Hardly Initiated's Late Night Special. It is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, here with another episode of my co-host, Ryan Ketchens.
So this time is truly a late night special because the last time I think we did a solo episode was in 2021.
Yeah, man.
Insane.
It's been a throwback, so this is going to be very special for you guys because guess what? I already introduced all the guests. It's just me and Ryan here running this show and very well needed because in here, fellas, this for my fellas. Ladies, come tune in. You're going to want this one, but fellas, this is why your lady is disrespecting you.
We had to do this one, though. We had to because the truth is, both Tyshawn and I have learned an immense amount of knowledge and valuable game over the past 2 years or so. Almost 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And the amount of men that we get come up to us in public and send us private messages is insane.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of men, let's just say most men, are having very similar issues.
Yeah, man. A lot of guys are dealing with disrespecting their relationships, and it's a very touchy subject, man. Because when you talk about, we've had a lot of therapists, we've had a lot of psychologists come up here, a lot of coaches, and as people that you guys know that watch the show, you know that emasculation is something that's very tough that men deal with on a day-to-day basis.
That's a fact.
And a man that's being disrespected in his relationship is absolutely on the verge, depending on how severe it is. I mean, it's a road to emasculation, depression, a hit to his self-confidence and everything else that comes with that. When the woman in your life who should be adding to all of those areas we just talked about is actually taken from it. So we're going to talk to you guys about why this may be happening so you can go about fixing this in your relationship. But before we get into it, guys, I'm so excited about the things that we got coming. I don't think you guys know. Whatever you think is coming, just multiply that by 10, guys. Because we got some major things happening and on the way. Big shout out to the members because we're going to do some very special things for the members at the end of this month. We're going to have our very first and special event for just our members today. But Ryan, I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk about the things that's coming.
Okay, good. So check this out, guys. So shout out to anybody who's watching us right now. Particular shout out to everybody that's tuning in on YouTube, but also a very special shout out to our Facebook audience. Now, this is the thing. We love Facebook. We love that you're joining us, but we only can give you 30 minutes, but we got to cut you off and we got to give all of our attention to our YouTube audience. Now, this is the thing as well, guys. We got some new Super Chat house rules simply because we want to get the Super Chats up, but at the same time, we want to stay in flow and all of that good stuff. So check this out. We encourage all Super Chats that's of any amount, guys, but when you look at the screen, any super chat is going to be highlighted because we really want to make this a really fire production and really want to show you guys love, especially when you show us love, right? We want to reciprocate that. Now, any super chat at or above $10, you actually going to get a verbal shout out for which Tyshawn or myself will highlight that as well as show it on the screen, all right? Now, all super chats this month and more than likely next month are going to support our $3,500 goal.
Depending on how fast we get it.
Depending on how fast we get it. Maybe this is the last week.
Yes.
It's going to support our goal of getting the studio sound treated. Now, we've already paid for an additional consultation for which you probably hear right now. The sound is actually going to be better.
Yes.
So when you hear multiple people laughing and multiple people talking, it's not going to go out no more. We finally fixed that, but we want to even have an additional level of sound so we can really give the guests and you guys what we need. So I want to give you this before I let it go. The total amount raised for August was $1,330.53. So we're a little bit less than halfway there, about 35% of the way there. But guys, if you continue to support us, just like my girl Vanita Jackson did, she said, AC, send us over that $20 super chat. She says we have to make the guests comfortable to keep them coming. Vanita, I absolutely agree with you. Now, this is the thing, guys. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button because that's what gets these lives out. I'm not sure if you guys looking. We getting lives that's hitting over 50,000. We just had our first live to hit 2 lives to hit over 100,000. So those is good. And guys, we got something very special coming. It still might be a little tricky, but if you click the link that says events, you should be able to get, all right, our top 10 dating and connecting questions. So me and Tyshawn did some work. We really got these 20 questions together, 10 of them from dating, 10 of them if you already in a relationship. So guys, please click that link, scroll up a little bit in the chat, and you will sign up for that email list, and you're going to get that sent over to you.
And big shout out to everybody in here. We already got 200 people in the room. And before we actually get into the game, I want you guys to really understand. Shout out to the men that's on here and tuned in, trying to go ahead and advance being a better man, being a better husband, being a better person, getting your spiritual life together, getting your family life together. I respect that, because usually, if men, that's something that we put on the back burner. We usually chase the bag first, we chase the money first, and we get on the job training with everything else. And that might even lead to the loss of our family, the brokenness of our homes, and everything else. Because, as you know, we believe that it's on our back to fix our families and fix our homes, fellas. That's just the responsibility that came with the sack. All right, that just is what it is, fellas. And I want y'all to know, when we first started this platform, our intentions was to build our men. It was to make stronger men, build better communities and homes by first focusing on the men. But the ladies leaned in so heavily, we realized that they need a game too. I want y'all to really understand this, y'all. Me and Ryan went through this phase, man. We were building a 7-figure real estate company that started, the story on that, we'll probably get out some details on that. We went through some hell ourselves.
Hell on earth.
Actually trying to get it to where it was. But it was a point where it was actually doing very decently well for itself.
Yeah.
It was moving. We had people hired. We had things outsourced, and things were getting relatively stable. And it gave us the opportunity to start digging and studying other areas of our lives. We just also happened to, like, within a month's time, get out of these relationships that were not good for us personally.
Yep.
So me and Ryan,
For different reasons. For
different reasons. And something about when a man gets out of a relationship, especially a relationship that did not go well, he's all of a sudden motivated to go back and figure out and study the relationship game, right? Study masculinity, study conflict resolution, study the psychology of women, study all of these things, which ultimately birthed, hardly initiated what you see here today. Because what we found through research, and it's you constantly see it, especially when you study masculinity, you'll see that the greatest men, the greatest communities of men came through a rite of passage. They came through some intentional initiation process by other well-respected men that were put together, where now we have a generation of men that are hardly initiated. And what we even found was that there are also ladies out here that are also hardly initiated. No rite of passage, no quinceañera. You get no way to learn this womanhood or manhood that we're in. So we're here today, fellas. This one here is for you, because I don't want you struggling and suffering in your relationship. And look, we're gonna go over some reasons here, and we will be taking some calls later on in the show.
We're going to get very, very active today. So this is the thing. Me and Tyshawn, like I told y'all, the last time me and Tyshawn actually sat in the studio to film together, just us, was with the very first 10 episodes on YouTube. And this is when, in November 1st, 2021, we literally dropped 10 solo episodes with solely me and Tyshawn.
Yeah.
And that was the last time we actually sat together. So today, it's holiday too. It's Labor Day. We know some people off. We know some people chilling. Look, we want y'all to call in. We want to get very active. We want to hear from you. And we really want to talk some game too.
And we will. And let's go straight into it, because I want to talk about, let's start right here, because this is one of the reasons, fellas, that you might be getting disrespected in the relationship with your lady, okay? If you, fellas, are a yes man, okay, you might be experiencing a level of disrespect in your relationship. And what is a yes man, just so we can get clarity? A yes man is a man, really, he's a shell of a man, because what he has done is completely lost his authenticity altogether. A yes man is actually willing to compromise his own desires,
Facts.
his own values, his own thoughts and feelings to make someone else feel better about where they are, to make someone else feel good and not rock the boat, not cause friction, so he can just go along to get along. Almost a happy wife, happy life mindset, if you will. Very dangerous, man, this is. And it's very dangerous, fellas, if you fall into this space of compromising what you know is right, what you want, what you see fit, in order to make someone else happy.
And a yes man can be, it can be a transformative process. This is not necessarily the person as how they always are. You could be one of those guys who sets boundaries, who maintains firm to his values and his standards. And then over time, after some difficulties present themselves, after some life changes start happening, over time, then take a back seat to become that more passive yes man that Tyshawn is referring to. And all of us are at risk for this, whether that's you being passive in the moment or you being passive for an extended interval of time.
And see, going into that, kind of talking about that, here's a good example of how this could happen. Fellas, you on top of the world financially. You got your money together, you got your paper together, and your money is the source of your self-confidence, okay? The money is the source of your self-confidence. When you got your bag right, your confidence kicked in heavily. You get you a lady, she gets you when you got your bag right. Y'all moving, y'all grooving, your relationship is progressing. 5 years later, something drastic happens in your business, and now your bag is no longer where it was. Your bag is no longer where it was. Remember, your bag was the source of your confidence in the first place. Mm-hmm. That's where your confidence was attained. You really wasn't confident in yourself before then. It wasn't because you showed yourself through grit, through work, through grind. You built confidence in these other ways through your integrity, through your character, through situations that you've been through in life. It was all through the bag that you got. So that bag goes away. And now guess what? You lose your self-confidence. You lose that bravado that you have as a man, right? You're starting to question now the decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis. And trust me, a woman, oh my goodness, she senses that.
Oh, yeah.
She senses and
Most
she
definitely
knows when you at the top of your game and when you feeling it. And all of a sudden, because you're not confident in your decision making anymore, because you're not in your head and you questioning yourself, your own manhood, you don't even really feel or think you're a man like that anymore. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, now when somebody else is putting out some information or somebody else is making recommendations on what you should be doing, like you said, you begin to take the back seat. You don't trust yourself anymore because you had a few bad games.
Exactly.
You don't trust your decision making anymore. Hey, what do you think we should do here? What do you? Hey,
is that your
that's my emasculated man voice? Yeah, that's my emasculated man voice.
I like that.
It has no bass, no breath, right? It's just hey, babe, what do you think?
What do you think
about that?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
Hey, I'm thinking about starting this new business. What do you think about that? Is that okay? And fellas, that's just a very dangerous place to be in, because as a leader, especially, you're expected to lead through good times and bad times, through hard times and easy times. And especially when we go back to being a yes man, a leader is going to be somebody that's going to always need to do what's best for the greater good of the team, of the organization. So even if that means you got to tell your lady, hell no, or however better that needs to sound, right? However you need to talk to your lady and explain and express why you going in the direction that you guys need to go in. You have to be able to do that. And even though she may not get what she wants, she will respect you because she knows that you're doing and making decisions for the greater good and not compromising your own beliefs. Have you met a brother like that though, Ryan? Like, have you met like a yes man? And
I would say not only have I met many men like that, but I've been that man, on occasion. And in that last relationship 4 years ago, I was actually that man where we was actually going through a transition, both Tyshawn and I. And we had, I had left a six-figure situation. I think I was making around like 160 at the time. We was actually working for one of my buddies' companies who was also a YouTuber. Both me and Tyshawn were doing very well. And we decided to exit that situation and start our own. And the thing is, we wanted to start from the ground up, right? And I forgo this money-making opportunity, potential equity in that company to actually work in out of Tyshawn's one bedroom. And of course, we had these grand schemes of making $1 million in our first year. And come to find out, we actually didn't do our first deal until 6 months. And that first deal, I think it was like 18 grand we made. Yeah. The first deal went to all 6 months of bills that we forego, and and a big credit card debt that we had at that time. And I was in a place to where I was extremely unconfident. I mean, I was extremely down and out. Even though I was committed to the activities, I wasn't patient with myself. So at that point, I became passive on almost everything. You know, I didn't really care what my lady was cooking. I didn't care what we was doing. I didn't want to do anything. I lost all creativity when it came to dating because, in my opinion, I could not afford to even walk out of the house. And when you get into that situation, everything gets lost and everything gets questioned. And I want to talk to the men because it's men who are in this type of situation and would fall back on blaming a woman. Why does she communicate this way to me? Why does she threaten me with this and that? Why does she no longer want to have sex with me? Why is she acting like she has these other options? You know, I remember I was dating this young lady and I was just so passive when it came to so many things, man. It was like 4 or 5 years ago, like I said, okay? But one of the things she was like, yeah, you know, what did she tell me? She said, yeah, you know, I actually met such and such that lives in the building today. It was some dude that lived in the building. And, you know, I told him that I was getting ready to remodel the house and he wanted to come by and take a look at things around the house to see if he can help out. And I'll be very honest, nothing in my mind sent off a red flag at that point. I was so down and out about my situation, I could not even evaluate what she was communicating to me. Can you imagine your woman telling you she's gonna have some other nigga come over and look at what's going on in the house to see what she need to get repaired? That's the type of situation I was in. Now, it's men that are at a point even worse than that, right? But you have to understand how dynamic a woman is and what a woman's responsibility is. Like, a woman's responsibility is quality assurance on exactly what you're doing. This is how women are made by nature. A woman is made to survive. So at any point, just like you at your job, you got to figure out if the job is going to lead you in the right direction. You got to figure out if the corporation is going to have growth opportunities. You got to figure out if the corporation can fit your passions and your goals moving forward. Well, a woman has to do the exact same thing. Now, whether it's subconscious or conscious, a woman is going to put those feelings out there. She is going to test. And the thing is, if I would have allowed myself to stay in that situation, and when I mean by stay in that situation, I'm not referring to stay in the relationship. I mean to stay in the negative situation that was going on internally. If I would allow myself to stay in that situation, trust me when I tell you, the situation could have got worse. It could have led to infidelity. It could have led to flat out disrespect.
Yeah.
More than likely, it would have led to flat out disrespect. So I do want to give you guys the understanding that any woman, regardless of how mature she is, regardless of how much of a queen she is, if you push her to the point where flat out disrespecting you is the only way to get your attention, then trust me, she will do that. And that's why it's our responsibility to stay on top of the game.
No, and that's a really good point, because I want you guys to understand this too. A healthy woman can disrespect you. Okay, understand this. I want you to understand this here, guys. Even a woman who is a good woman, she can still greatly disrespect you. So I'm not talking about, let's remove the dysfunctional women, because we know dysfunctional women, they won't be happy. That's just that's a part of their dysfunction.
Right.
Men and women. But we talking about the guys who generally have a woman that, if properly managed and cultivated, you can grow a long-term relationship with. The opposite is true. If mismanaged and you are not your right self, she will really begin to act up, fellas. And understand this too. Think about this though. Really, and think about this in this perspective. The masculine is mission, is go, is attack, is penetrate. The feminine is release,
curate,
is submission, right? Is cure. So if she is going to truly follow your leadership, you got to be thorough in order for her to put herself in that vulnerable space that the feminine needs to be in to flourish. You have to be thorough. And when you're not, chaos will break down. And here's the thing. When you talk about leadership and the lack thereof, as it relates to leadership, you have to, any leader that you've ever had, that you've listened to, you've trusted. When you become a yes man, when you compromise, when you do whatever somebody else wants you to do, they lose trust in your leadership. And if they lose trust in your leadership, you will then, I'm telling you, this is where the disrespect begins, guys. Disrespect always starts small.
Yeah.
It doesn't get to this. If you're at a crazy extreme of disrespect, it's snowballed into that and you missed it, guys. And you got to understand too, giving a woman everything she wants or compromising your own values because you're not confident. It's almost like creating. You ever seen like a badass kid in like a grocery store?
Yeah.
Running around, probably throwing things, screaming, jumping around. And you just looking around thinking like, man, that kid needs an ass whooping.
I've been that kid, right?
You can actually create that in your own relationship. You could set a bad precedent by not setting boundaries and setting a standard for yourself. And I'm telling you, man, I don't care how amazing a woman is, that dark femininity will kick in if she senses weakness in you because she can't trust you to lead her. And it is literally for her survival that she acts up on you to bring a better version out of you. And if that won't happen, she'll eventually dip all the way out. I'm telling you. And you talk about infidelity.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Infidelity is a sign of disrespect. Like the more extreme
it's the ultimate
side of disrespect.
Between infidelity and a woman pretty much telling you or making tons of excuses of why she don't want to have your baby. Those two, infidelity and a woman that don't want to marry you or have your baby, it's the ultimate sign of disrespect, in my opinion. It's the ultimate sign of her saying, hey, you are not man enough for me to take your hand. And it's many men who would even deal with that, which we'll talk about later. Yeah. But this is the thing. I'll tell you guys what one of my very, very good friends from South Carolina, South Kakalaki, all right, Orangeburg. He told me, this was some years back. He said, look, man, it's not on you, it's in you.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to understand as men. It's not on you, it's in you. So when those things start to happen, you have to take a look internally to see what you need to work on, what you need to rewire to get your brain right. And I want to be very clear about this because one of the things that, you know, I think we do a fairly good job at is gaming men while also maintaining that level of respect for our queens, right? Now, I don't want you guys to think that when Tyshawn talks about not compromising, he's talking about on every level. What Tyshawn is talking about is compromising on your values.
Yes.
Now, when you allow a woman and you decide that you want to move forward with bringing a woman into your life, at the end of the day, she's going to come with her values, right? But you set the standard. And at the point you either don't set a standard or maintain the standard, that is when the woman is going to get a little bit out of control. So I really want to assure you guys, and especially the ladies, we're not talking about a reasonable situation or a compromise specific situation. We're talking about the man who is willing to compromise his values and his standards simply for your validation. Not even your pleasure, your validation. Because I want guys to understand that you are not compromising your values to make your wife happy. You are compromising your values to get validation, to get approval. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I mean, women love community. They love instruction. They love to be incentivized. In the Quran, it talks about how you should incentivize a good woman, right? But at the point you relieve or relinquish those things, like we're saying, that's just when it gets out of control.
Yeah. And one of your gifts to a woman is your leadership. And that's one of the major things you take away from her. You take away your gift of leadership, your gift of guidance, your gift of structure to the woman. Because every woman in here, ladies, if you love a leader, let me see you drop the word leader in the chat. If you love a man to be a leader, let me see you drop the word leader in the chat. And like we said prior, a leader is not going to always give you your way. But one of the main things you have to have is an identity, fellas. Okay? Before you go into a relationship, you have to have a solid identity. You have to know yourself. You already have to know what is the borders, what is the boundaries, right? You already have to know this so you know what you do and do not want to do, what's not comfortable for you. You know how you operate, and you can be able to properly communicate that, right? And that's very important. And
a lot of men don't know how they operate. That's the problem.
Yes.
And the thing about it, guys, I understand because we're taught this. We're taught to go get the bag. Now, I'm gonna be real. It's a lot of guys don't seem like they even doing that. But the thing is, as men, we can think very linear, and we could be on this mission to get the bag, but we forget to explore who we actually are. Right? I remember having this conversation with Tyshawn. I came to Tyshawn. I'm like, yo, bro. I'm depressed. And, we laughing about it and that type of deal. And he was like, what's going on? And I realized, I'm like, bro, I'm 30 years old. I don't got no hobbies. I'm not doing nothing to improve myself. The only thing that I'm doing is coming in here, looking at you every day and working till the day done. Then I just go to sleep, wake up, and do the exact same. I was literally a zombie.
Yeah.
And when you're in that position, guys, you don't even have enough care for yourself to be a decision maker. And what you allowing is the world to make the decisions for you. You're allowing what everybody thinks you should be doing to make the decisions for you. So even taking the time for yourself, taking at least an hour and a half out the day to give to yourself, to actually plan activities in the future, to find out what you like and to pick up new disciplines, to get you a personal trainer, to start doing jujitsu, to start firearm training, these types of things. That's going to put you in the position to grow and develop standards. So that way, when you hit a relationship, you already going to be ready. You're not going to be dealing with that woman and she trying you up and down. And then 6 months later, you tell her, hey, you know what? I think I need to work on myself. Hey, you know what? I think I need to focus on school. Hey, you know what? I think I need to focus on work. You should have already did that before you got into the relationship. So it's very important, guys, that we first take care of ourselves before we even pick up a woman and put ourselves in that position.
I would say this too, man. I remember I heard this, big shout out to Tony Smith. He said one of the biggest mistakes we make as men, he said, when you're down, the worst thing you could do is not be around. So any of my brothers out here that's feeling that way, that's feeling like you're not all the way yourself, get around strong men fast. Get around men who are on their game, who are moving, who have momentum, who got things going, whose energy is up and bright and lifted, and get around them, and they instantly gonna be able to tell you that your energy ain't matching. You ain't on the same frequency that I'm on. Brother, what's good? And you're gonna really be pressured into some conversation and into some realizations about where you are, even if you don't even know it yourself.
And you forget sometimes as a man, you forget that we all got the same damn problems. That's one of the things that I forgot. And it was funny. This was, and you have these ins and outs. And this was about 3 months ago. I was really focused. I'm like trying to get all these things done. We got these new things going on. This is before we shot the live episode. So I was kind of getting everything straight. One of my buddy had a special event and I end up not going to the event. I end up going to the thing afterwards. And he was like, bro, where you been? And I had these list of things I had been doing that I thought he was going to be like, okay, I understand that. He was like, bro, he said, what the fuck does me having my first baby got to do with you? And I was like, wow. He was like, bro, this ain't for you. This for me. And he goes to cuss me out a little bit and to tell me that, hey, maybe if you put in effort supporting your friends that care about you more, you will be able to get your goals accomplished a lot more efficiently and effectively. And I had to really take that to heart and think about that. And he was absolutely right. So I'm not saying that me and Tyshawn do things perfectly, because sometimes we fall off the boat too, right? Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, if you want to avoid and you want to have a preventative measures, a preventative circle from falling off the boat, this is when you got to get around your strong partners. And I'm not talking about the guys that just want to be around, sitting around watching football. I'm talking about the guys where you get with, even if it's for a brief amount of time, you leave refreshed and motivated. All right?
That's a fact. That's a fact. So listen, if you're dealing with that, I want you to run this one back, because you might need to hit that one twice. But I want to move on to the second reason that you might be getting disrespected in your relationship. And this one here, this is a 1. This here, this is a 1. Because another reason that you might be getting disrespected in your relationship is because you are not a man of your word. And we're going to get into that. Ryan, we got some super chats that came in, right?
We got hella super chats, guys. So let me check it out. So I got, shout out to What Was Said. He says, the quality of this production is A1. Shout out to A. Russell. She says, thanks so much for these podcasts. They have transformed my life and have initiated a very successful chapter of my life. I like that. When you throw initiated in the super chat, I just got to get out of extra
I want
love.
y'all to know y'all are all initiates in here. Listen, matter of fact, I don't even want to tell you that. If you are an initiate, let me see you put initiate in the chat. You better spell it right. Everybody be misspelling initiate. If you are a part of the family, if you are an initiate, put it in the chat right here, right now. Go ahead, Ryan.
I like that. We got one more super chat that came in. Shout out to my boy Larry Love. He said, I agree with Tyshawn. I was that yes man before. I learned recently that they want a masculine man, especially when they're ovulating. That's actually scientifically proven. Shout out to Jordan Peterson. Yeah. My older sister told me a woman wants a guider, protector, and provider. I mean, who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that? I mean, we got God for it, right? Yeah. We got God to lean on. And that's why I say every man must have a spiritual foundation before he takes on a creature as dynamic as a woman. Because the woman, the children, they are going to want something to lean on. And if you don't got nothing holding you up, you don't got that rock solid foundation holding you up, my friend, my guy, you are going to be in trouble.
Yes.
So this is the thing. I want to do this real quick, Tyshawn. We want to get it popping. Hey, Facebook audience, we love you. Unfortunately, we have to leave you at this time. But look, go ahead and join the family. Come over to YouTube Live. We're going to take care of you. You're going to be able to join our wonderful initiates in the chat.
Yes.
Let's get that popping. And this is the thing. We got a couple other things going too. Make sure y'all hit that like button. And if you got any questions regarding the schedule, the super chats, the membership, or any of our resources, make sure you shout out and take a look at the left side of the screen, guys. You are going to see each and every single one of our moderators. These lovely ladies will absolutely take care of us. So make sure you ask them any questions. And by the way, hit that like button. Tyshawn, where we at?
Yes, the fellas in here getting vulnerable, man. They know it. A lot of us, listen, we've all been there. We've all mismanaged a woman, and we caught the storm, the feminine storm, that feminine chaos that a woman can come with if we slip as men. We already seen that happen before.
Yeah, what was that second one? What was that second one?
Man, listen, you're not being a man of your word. And
that's a big one.
Let's talk about this, guys.
There's so many levels. It's the man that gets a woman's phone number and say he gonna call her, never hit her up.
You know what? And you know what? Let's talk about that, right? Common ways to keep your word, because that is one. You could start off on the wrong foot right there. You could start early by not keeping your word, even as dating. And then you got people that's also doing it on higher levels in 5 and 10 year relationships.
Yeah,
not keeping your word. I'm gonna throw out some common ways we as men slip on keeping our word, and we're gonna come break some of these down a little bit later.
What you got, a top 10,
but check
top
these
5?
out.
What you got?
Actually, I threw all this together myself. I don't even know how many it is, but check this out. 1, let me know. And fellas, if y'all can relate to any of these, I want y'all to tell me in the chat. 1, making empty threats as a man. I'm going to come back and talk about that. 2, not following through with your ambitions. Ooh, that's such a heavy one. 3, broken romantic promises. 4, not following through with basic household tasks or any other task you said that you were going to do. And here's a major one right here. Not properly following through with your goals and plans with your finances.
That's the big one.
With your paper.
Yeah.
Okay? And I want to kind of come back and talk about this because, fellas, it's really a thing when we say a man of our word. That's a real thing. Scarface said, I only got 2 things in this world. I got my balls and I got my word.
My balls
and
my word.
And he really meant that. That's a real thing because that's how we are measured. All of that is indicative of our integrity as a man. And how many of you want to follow behind a leader that does not do what they say they will do? This builds up a ton of resentment in a relationship. This here kills trust. It murders trust in a relationship. And over time, if this can proceed, disrespect is inevitable. And I want to kind of talk about some of these.
Which one you gonna hear first?
Let's talk about empty threats, because I actually, man, I was a victim of this here. I was a victim of this. And fellas, be careful. Be careful. I was in a toxic relationship with a young lady fresh out of college. I had no business being with this young woman. I was only with this young woman because before her, I had done so many women wrong in college that I said, you know what? I'm gonna do her right for all the other women that I've done wrong. Not because she's a qualified or compatible young lady.
Out of guilt.
But because my guilt was so big, I said, I'm going to make this woman my girl, and I'm going to do right by this young lady.
You had your cape on.
I had it on, man. And the thing about it is, that relationship was so toxic because we ended up getting into I made so many, all of these mistakes I made in this relationship, but it got to the point where we would actually get to arguing in the relationship. Petty arguments even, and we'll talk about that later, but we will argue in a relationship. And not only would we argue, I would make threats. I would say things.
Give me an example.
So, look, if we keep going through this, I'm out of here.
Oh, you were threatening to leave the relationship.
If you don't do XYZ, if you don't do XYZ, this is not going to work anymore. And let me tell you something, fellas. If you ever threaten to not be in a relationship for whatever reason is, you better be damn sure willing to carry through with that joint.
Because they gonna try.
The worst thing that you could do is say you're going to leave because they crossed the boundary and you show that your boundaries aren't even real. You can't even hold weight to your boundaries. What you say as a man is your boundary is not even real, and you stay past the point where you as a man said out your mouth you would not stay, and they stepping right over it and like, what you going to do? What you going to do? And you really don't do anything? Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
You talk about the respect. I can see the respect levels dropping in a woman. You could just, it's like a bar just pops up and you hear the sound. It's going bad.
Yeah.
So empty threats, fellas, is dangerous in a relationship.
I've never been that type for sure, the empty threat guy. But I know a lot of them out there. And the thing is, you shouldn't give your woman an ultimatum anyway. You know what I mean? So I think that was probably your first mistake. But the thing is, if you are not maintaining your word, it's inevitable. And what I want to talk about, I want to skip to one. I want to skip to the guy who is the king of unfinished projects. This is the dude who wants to start a new venture, but never actually goes to get the certification. This is the dude who starts repairing the bathroom and leaves all the tile undone, right? This shit happens, excuse my language. I'm becoming wholesome. I'm gonna stop cussing. This has become such a common thing for men to do, where you think it's the best idea and in your best interest to share all of your future plans with wifey or with your lady or with women that you dating, and you actually think that they won't follow up, that they are not considering and watching what you're doing at every moment. Because this is the thing, guys, when you share information with a woman, and just in general, they watch everything. Very observant. They know your schedule better than you know your schedule. They know your plans better than you know your plans. And don't let them have invested. Don't let them have paid for that certification and you don't follow through.
Man.
Don't let them have shared with a friend or a family member something you was about to do and don't do it. And once you think, I know guys what you think, hey, I'm a guy, I'm allowed to change my mind. You are, but she better not find out. So even if my thing is, even if you're not going, even if that's something that you don't want to do, you better damn sure finish it, or you better have shown up with something that was 10 times better, because otherwise you start to lose credibility.
You lose credibility. So when you come with that idea, and here's disrespect, because you got to understand what disrespect looks like, fellas, because some of y'all don't even know what's disrespect. You say, hey, babe, I got an idea. I want to go about, starting this new lawn care business. She'd be like, another one? Oh, you gonna start another lawn care business? You gonna start another business, huh? Right?
Yeah.
See, you gotta understand that is disrespect, because a man that has established so much credibility with a woman damn near can believe she becomes she becomes the greatest cheerleader in the world for you.
You tell her you want to start that lawn care business, she gonna pick out the lawnmower.
She picking out lawnmowers. She asking what the logo gonna look like. She's saying what we got to do to get this. She's like, hey, baby, have you thought about this?
Yeah.
Because she believes in whatever you say, you will bring it into this world. But when you have consistently shown that you are not able to follow through with your ambitions, you are not able to take an idea and bring it into this world, because your ideas are ever changing. Your ideas are revolving like a door, and you ain't really bringing nothing. You get no momentum in nothing. Disrespect is on the way.
And guys, it's a thing, because I know it's very easy to be upset with women when they get like that, but you have to understand that it's a blessing. It's a blessing when you get to see those signs from your woman, because it means that you need to make a change. Can you imagine how we would be as men that if you got a woman where you currently are in life and you did nothing to improve yourself, imagine what type of man you will become if she didn't get upset when you didn't do things the right way. You would literally become lesser of a version than you already are. So just imagine if a woman didn't want to leave when you failed to execute on what you're saying. Imagine if she didn't get upset when you didn't keep your word. Then you would literally become less of who you are. But because your woman has the capability and capacity to show that, let's say, negative side of things, this is what keeps you on track and motivated to become a better person. And regardless of who you are, this is the thing. If you can get into a relationship and you could be a millionaire, well, you got to be a multimillionaire at some point, because your woman is going to consistently look and see if you are improving and becoming a better version of yourself.
And let me say, this brother here said, ungodly women don't respect you. Get it right. Let me tell you something, brother. I promise you, the most godly women in the world would disrespect you if you're not on your performance.
Damn sure will.
And you got to understand what disrespect is as a man. When you bring up that idea and you say, hey, babe, I want to start this business, and they don't go to supporting you, they go to doubting you. That's not, disrespect is not always name calling. It's not always fighting. A woman not supporting you is disrespect. A woman doubting you is disrespect, because you have to understand, a woman was literally designed to help you. She was designed to help you get to wherever you have to go. So at the point where she is now doubting your destination as a man, she is acting completely out of order. That is absolutely disrespectful. That is absolutely dysfunctional as a relationship. And if you were the reason, and again, because at the beginning I said this is for healthy women, not the dysfunctional women. Right. A good woman that you got to this point because she saw you not perform so many times. And fellas, we do this. How many of us got a homeboy that's just like that?
Oh, yeah.
A homeboy that we see him, he had the MLM going when the MLMs was hot.
Yeah.
He had the real estate.
When Turo was popping, he was on Turo.
He was doing a Turo.
Airbnb came out.
He had a credit repair company when the credit repair was hot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He ran through every trend and advanced nothing.
It just shows a lack of stability, guys. A woman is looking for stability. And it's not saying that you got to go out there and make thousands upon thousands of dollars. You just have to show that you can take something from idea to execution and then be able to not only maintain it, but to be able to advance it. And I want to cover some of these things when it comes to disrespect. So I'll give you a couple of them. Matter of fact, one was this weekend. So check this out. I was at the Third Spot. Shout out to the Third Spot. Free promo, because I just love the establishment. We out there hanging out. Tyshawn is getting pissed. He's like, why you talking about this?
No free promo.
So look, I'm out there. I'm having a great time. And I'm playing skee ball, right? Couple young ladies walk up. I'm like, hey, and I'm by myself at this point. My buddy walked off to get a drink. So I'm like, hey, y'all trying to battle me. It's like 3 lanes. I'm like, y'all trying to battle me, go against me on skee ball. I'm like, I bet y'all could beat both of y'all, score put together, right? Talking hella trash. The girls agree to it. We play skee ball. One friend walks off and the other one stays. So now it's me and her playing skee ball. So me, I'm trying to have a good time. And it's just me at this point. My buddy's still going at the bar, don't know what he's doing. So of course I invite her to the next game. Then I invite her to the next game. And we playing 4 different games. We spent about a good 35 minutes together. Next thing you know, some guy comes up to her and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, she's looking kind of flustered. She's like, we just met and hey, this is Ryan and we're playing air hockey. And I'm looking like, who is this dude? It was her boyfriend.
Wow.
It was her boyfriend. And the thing is, of course, I consider myself a relationship investigator. So the whole time I'm asking her questions, she's saying she's dating somebody that is not serious and she's not sure about. Keep in mind, it's 35 minutes. I'm getting deep.
Wow.
You want to have kids? I'm asking all kind of questions. I'm going deep. You want to have kids? You want to be married? This. And come to find out, the guy she was unsure about was the guy who was actually accompanying her at that event. Now, this is the thing. 1, I would tell any woman that was completely inappropriate. Ooh. But 2, the way that this guy approached that situation, it was like I could tell that she did that intentionally to get his attention.
Wow.
And this person that she was talking about had been dating. I mean, as soon as I seen this dude, I'm like, oh man, I'm like, he need to watch the show. Because I already know exactly what's happening. And what his woman was doing is, for whatever reason, that's the second, the third levels of disrespect. This is her showing, hey, you want to leave me by myself? You want to not give me the attention I want? You want to take me out and not address my attitude on the ride here? Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to approach somebody. I'm going to allow them to hit on me, and I'm going to allow you to catch me in their company.
Well, but I'm going to be honest.
Slayer.
At that point where it's getting that crazy, trust me, when a woman is now threatening you or inappropriately dealing with other men,
so inappropriate.
It's beyond what even happened in that car.
It's crazy.
It's like and I'm telling you, fellas, there's been things brewing, and you can't miss this, because sometimes we miss the signs over and over again. We ignore these things. You ignore the slick comments. You avoid the hard conversations. You disregard the arguments when she's actually trying to address things to you. Everything you're in this your own little world. Meanwhile, resentment is building.
Yep.
You're losing trust.
She's
losing respect for you. She's embarrassed.
She's dogging you out to her friends. And the thing is, at this point, whatever investment that you're making into this woman is going down the drain. She is literally dating you until she finds somebody who she sees as higher value that has long-term interest in her. And the thing about it, I don't care what, listen, we got a lot of women that's watching this show. I don't care what y'all say. Many women will do that. Many women will maintain this relationship and not be happy about it and do subtle things up to extremely disrespectful things until you nip it in the bud or until she breaks up with you, which is, and this is the thing, all of those signs is her trying to break up with him.
Yes, she's either trying to break up with you or inspire better, newer behavior, which if you're not breaking up with her and eventually oh my gosh, God forbid a woman breaks up with you, brother.
Oh yeah, it take a lot. Oh my God.
If a woman breaks up with you,
guys,
just know things went very, very, very bad. Because not only has she checked out of that relationship,
been checked out months prior. And
on Dr. Tar, on an episode he recently released, he even made a statement that in divorce, because obviously, things always magnified in marriages. When a woman divorces you, she already started preparing and making moves 2 to 3 years prior.
Oh yeah,
right, and that's in the case of divorce.
She has to.
But whether you're dating, and she has to. So whether you're dating or not, if a woman goes about making that decision for you, things have already been going downhill, my boy.
And the reality of the situation is that if you are that person who won't stand up for yourself, it's already in the woman's mind that you are likely emotionally unstable and not confident, and you're likely to do something crazy if she does decide to break up with you. This is why she'll either ghost you, she'll text you a breakup, or she might even just do so much disrespectful behavior that you actually break up with her. So not only she could feel better about it, but that she doesn't have to deal with the emotional ramifications from you that might come from that. So at the point a woman breaks up for you guys, I must tell you, like, it's completely over, and she has lost all respect for you, because the last thing a woman really wants to do is break up with a grown man.
And let me tell y'all this one. Here's another one here. This one might seem small, but fellas, not keeping your word with basic things that you said that you were going to do. And I say basic in the fact of our minds as men. Basic. I'll give you a really good idea of what this is. I was dating a young lady. She went out. I dropped her off with her friends. They went out to a dinner. It was like a birthday dinner. I dropped her off to a birthday dinner. And she said she was going to be done by like 11 o'clock. I was supposed to go pick her up. I dropped her off, and she wanted me to pick her up. I said, okay, I'll pick you up. This thing did not end at 11. It's probably like around 12:30. Now, this spot that she was at was probably about 7-8 minutes from my house. But I was so tired at this point. It's like midnight. Listen, I was already in my bed. Took off my clothes. I had got comfortable. I said, look, what I'm going to do, because I'm thinking in the sake of efficiency, I'm going to just send an Uber out there. I'm going to send an Uber. The Uber's going to pick you up, and blah, 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 blah. She texts back, and I sent this through text. She said, Uber, really? And I said, yeah. Listen, like, look, I'm already in bed. I ain't got no clothes on. You ready to go right now? I'm not ready to Uber. Literally, I already called it. They'll be there in 2 minutes. It's much faster than me putting on clothes and being there. It'll probably take 15, 20 minutes for me to get there. She's like, K. She texts back, K. She gets in the car. She comes back. And even worse, when she pulls up, I wasn't even down there waiting for her because somehow I ain't gonna lie, I kind of dozed off. So like she's calling me, I'm like, I'm coming down now. So I'm coming down to meet her outside, and I finally go out there to meet her. The Uber dropped her off. She's been outside, and she's like, "Didn't you tell me that you were gonna pick me up?" And again, in my mind, it's just basic. Yeah, I mean, I know, but I got the Uber to get you, whatever the case is. It's not that serious. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. It's not that serious.
Right.
But she was right. I gave her my word that I would pick her up. And here's how I knew, because it still didn't even sink to me that was a situation. I kicked it with my OG the next day. I kicked it with him, and he had something at his house. This is my big OG, lifelong OG right here. He has 2 daughters, by the way, as well. And I told him, he asked me about the day before. I'm like, man, it was cool, blah, blah, blah. And then I thought about what happened. I'm like, oh, man, Pop, let me tell you, man. We all call him Pop. Man, Pops, let me tell you what happened, man. Man, I had this chick, man. I told her I was going to pick her up. Man, I kind of fell asleep because she took I'm blaming it on her. Because she took a whole extra hour and a half. And you know what I'm saying? I ended up sending Uber to make sure. He said, wait, you sent the Uber for her? I said, yeah. He said, didn't you tell that girl that you was going to pick her up?
That's
I said, yeah. He said, oh, so you sent another nigga to get your girl. That's exactly what he said. He said, oh, so you sent another nigga to go get your girl. I said, bro, it's called Uber. What you mean another nigga? I'm like, bro, this is a professional service, bro. It's like, I didn't say no other nigga.
Right.
Like, it's an Uber driver, bro. Like, he's like, oh, he said, yeah, let that would have been one of my girls. And they came back and told me that somebody sent another nigga to pick them up when he was supposed to pick them up at midnight at that. And then I hit me. I'm like,
wow.
Now, see, here's the thing. Again, fellas, something like that is so small to us, but so big to them. To women, that's a lack of protection, a lack of security. He does not keep me safe. He is not following through with what he said. And over time, that's just one act. I'm not saying a lady shouldn't give you grace because we make mistakes. But over time, consistently not keeping your words with things that you deem to be basic is so many ways to make this mistake. Fellas, I promise you, disrespect starts to happen. Hey, baby, I'm going to come get you. Whatever.
Yeah.
She don't trust you no more. Those slick, sly remarks start to turn up a little bit.
She could be over complimentary of other men. She could not want to hold your hand or show you affection in public. When you walk into a room, if she's using the phone, she could intentionally try to put the phone away really quickly or text in the corner. Just everything to poke at you and push your buttons. What's some other signs of some light disrespect?
Oh my, it's really
the smack in the teeth is that's a good one.
Yeah, it's so many different ways that you can get disrespected. And I mean, my biggest one is just the snappy remarks. The snappy, snarky remarks.
Cooking dinner without you. She cook, only make her plate.
Doing something without telling you she's doing it.
Oh yeah.
Like you might come back, she's gone. You don't even know what's going on.
Maybe she just stays out too late. Maybe she, you hit her up to check in with her. She never texts you back.
Yeah, and those are more severe levels. But here's actually what I want to do, Ryan.
Yeah, let's do something. The silent treatment is a good one. Somebody just dropped that one. It just flat out ignoring you. And
out ignoring.
You might call her name. By the third time, she's like, huh? And she down 5 feet away.
Yeah.
It can get crazy.
And so here's what I want to do, because listen, the ladies are always supporting. The ladies are always jumping on the phones. Of course, I even want to hear from some ladies tonight, but I want my fellas to really get through the phone lines. So we're gonna take some calls. Ladies, hold off real quick. Let the fellas get ahead of steam, because what I want the fellas to do, any fellas that experience any level of disrespect, I usually just go for a question, but I'm gonna actually let y'all go about actually communicating the type of disrespect you experience. Now, brothers, be brief and brilliant. This is a damn TED Talk. This is not you coming up on here. This is not your moment to shine.
Hey, listen, listen, I know. Listen, this is a man talk right now with women in the room. So
yes.
let's make sure we at least try to keep it as clean as possible.
Yeah, so Lionel, put the number on the screen. Fellas, I want my fellas to get through the phone lines. Give me your name, your number, and a time you may have experienced disrespect. We're going to give the fellas a head start. When the ladies come in, because I will let the ladies come in and give a time too, I want ladies to come in and tell us about a time that they knew that they were disrespecting their guy and why.
Absolutely.
What caused them to disrespect their guy? We got some more reasons that we're going to run through, but that's the situation right now. My fellas,
we got
I
some
want
resources too. So listen, every live shows every Monday and Wednesday at 8. If you just now tuning in, if this is your very first live show, shout out to everybody who has sent us over a super chat. Just want to remind you guys that if by chance you can't send through YouTube, go ahead and click the link in the description that says PayPal or that says donate. We got the Cash App and PayPal listed. Guys, another thing that's very important to us, please go ahead and exit out the chat. Go ahead and hit the like button, not the hearts, but the actual thumb. Very important we get as many likes as possible. And this is the thing, guys. We are trying to grow this YouTube membership. We are officially at 270 plus members.
Woo!
The next goal, the next stop is 500. So please join that YouTube membership. Everything counts, guys. Let's get those call-in rolling in as soon as possible. Delano, where we at on the call-ins?
All right, so man, the fellas might be moving a little slow. So I'm gonna let the ladies call in, all right? Because the fellas moving slow.
Yeah.
The fellas moving slow. So ladies, I'm gonna let y'all come in here. I want my ladies to come in, and I want y'all to give us a time where you know you was disrespecting a brother, all right? Where you know you was disrespecting a brother,
good ladies
and tell
too.
us why.
That's the
Okay.
thing. It's some good women out there laying down some mad disrespect right now. Could be the husband. It could be the long-term boyfriend.
I think we getting one in right now. We getting one in.
Let's get it. I love these headphones, by the way, Ty. This the throwback.
Yeah. Are you on? Welcome to Hardly Initiated. I can't hear anything, Lana. We on there?
Hello?
Turn it up, Lano. Don't forget to turn it up.
Make sure you turn it up on the you slide it all the way up to the top. Okay, hold on. We having some sound issues right here.
Now, this is the thing. Let me tell you why we're having sound issues, because I don't know if y'all know this, but we getting the producer cams coming soon. He gotta at least be with us for a year before we get the producer cam. But Tyshawn's baby brother, his baby brother,
yeah,
he's the young man behind the production. So he is 19 years old.
Yeah.
And you know, the funniest thing about Delano is as we drop in this game, you can hear, I don't know if y'all can hear Delano in the back. He's like, oh man, that's a good one.
He's getting gamed up.
He's getting gamed
He's
up.
gonna be the ultimate man, ladies.
Yeah.
He's only 19, but
He's gonna
if
be
y'all,
good.
if look for all my cougars out there, if y'all open to it, we got a young and up and coming in here getting coached up every day.
Hey, young. Yo, can we get a picture? Can we get a picture of Delano on the screen right now?
Yeah, we gonna
Can
show. We gonna show Lana. Did we get the sound worked out? Did we get that worked out? If not, we going to the next thing. I can't be working this out. Somebody give me one more call in.
We officially at 600, so this is some good game.
Yes.
Guys, make sure you hit that like button.
All right, so we're going to go to the next thing because right now we having some sound issues on the call-ins, but we're going to take care of that. So we actually going to go to
Hold on, let me go ahead and
next
let me go ahead and dock Delano's pay
issue
real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and dock that, bro.
All right.
Go ahead, but I want to end this on this one, guys. I really want to end this because it's the most important thing. When we talk about not keeping your word, fellas, the biggest thing about not keeping your word is most likely if you don't keep your word with a young lady, you probably don't keep your word with yourself. And that's probably one of the most dangerous things that you can do. Because keeping your word with yourself is one of the number one ways that as a man, probably the most healthy way as a man, that you are going to build confidence and trust in yourself as a man. The reason I'm even able to have the balls, the cojones, to be full-time in a media company, in a podcast that I've never done before.
Yeah.
That I've never taken on. I knew nothing about this space before I came into it, was not because I, just was born into this world with this confidence in myself. It was because I earned this. All the way from grade school, me proving that I can excel in school. It was all because of me being a part of organized sports and excelling amongst another group of men, being one of the best men. It was because I went into starting my own first business with Ryan, and me and Ryan turned nothing, being broke, no capital, just credit cards into a 7-figure business. When you consistently say you're going to do something and you create it, you get more bold as a man.
Yeah.
You trust yourself even more to do bigger things, to do greater things. And as you keep your word and maintain that discipline for yourself, you become more powerful as a man. And the opposite is true. When you tell yourself, I'm going to go to the gym, and you don't go to the gym. When you tell yourself, I'm going to start this new business, and you quit on yourself. As you start to set new goals, it's such an insidious problem. You can't see the effects of this. But what happens is you literally begin to lose trust in yourself. You literally, it's subconscious.
Yeah.
You don't believe what you say you're going to do to yourself as loudly as the man who has consistently been able to knock down and build and attain everything he's seen and said that he wants to do. So you not doing that with yourself is an even bigger problem. So guys, be a man of your word.
Confidence is built. It's built over time. It's built with accomplishment by accomplishment. So Tyshawn, I really like that, man.
Yeah, no, that's
a good
real.
game.
That's real. So guys, here's my third one. Okay.
What we got?
We got the next one here. Another reason your lady might be disrespecting you. Okay. Another reason your lady might be disrespecting you here, and I have it, is not properly communicating with your woman. And this is a big one here. At first, y'all might be like, what does that even mean?
Right, because everybody doing that now.
What do you mean not properly communicating with your woman? It's a lot of different ways that this can go left, okay? Here's one of the biggest things here's a mistake that I made, okay? And I don't want any of you fellas to make this. It's because, fellas, and I think you want to make a call? You want us to make a test call? Go ahead. But see, one thing that can happen here, fellas, you can get into petty arguments with your lady. Petty arguments with your lady. And this is so dangerous, fellas, to fall into this place. Because what I need y'all to do is to avoid petty arguments at all costs. All right? Because typically, guys who are constantly getting it, and here's what y'all know what I mean when I say petty. Ladies, first of all, ladies, tell me, have y'all ever was with a guy that y'all would typically get into petty arguments with? And ladies, tell me,
over everything.
Y'all are not, and listen, y'all are not totally free and clear of this problem too. Y'all are a part of this issue as well. But I want any of the ladies to give me a testimony here. Y'all ever had a dude where y'all would just bicker and fight over the silliest things? And fellas, if you've fallen into this trap, one, you've allowed her to be in control of you. Okay, very dangerous place. You've allowed her to now control. And let me tell you what happens when you get into these petty arguments. You start going back and forth with her. You might even get so upset you start shouting. You might even get so upset that you start name calling. You are showing no poise. You are showing no control. You are showing no emotional intelligence as a man. You are displaying absolute weakness. And that is so dangerous when you start to do that. That is so dangerous because as a man, you gotta be and stay poised as you communicate, especially with women, because when arguments over time, it truly can create resentment. And especially the petty arguments, you literally can create an enemy right across from you. Like you guys literally can stop liking each other. And y'all probably been in a relationship like that where you literally stop liking the person because y'all keep going back and forth. And that's such a dangerous place to be because our job is to bring closure to these. We problem solvers, fellas. Something petty. She trying to even start something petty. Oh, babe, come on now, stop playing. Like you gotta dust those types of things off, babe. Come on now, relax. Like you don't even really address or bring your energy to low vibrational conversations and frequencies. And if it is an argument, it's your job to bring closure and advance it to resolution, not go back and forth and throw gasoline on a petty argument and fire.
And it's also just generally understanding that women express their emotions a lot different from men. You have to understand the dynamic between men and women. So not everything a woman is upset about or she necessarily complains about or expresses frustration about is a big issue. Sometimes the woman just wants to be mad. That's just how they want to be. Now you can resolve these things or remedy these situations with humor, like Tyshawn is showcasing, with steadiness. But I think a lot of times men can get confused about what a woman is actually communicating when she gets upset. And I just understand. It's just so many times where I've been with a friend and the woman, his woman expressed just a bit of frustration about waiting too long in line or, having to go somewhere where she doesn't want to go or any type of thing. You know what I mean? And the way that the guys express themselves is like, why you never want to do what I want to do? Why every time we go out, you got to have an issue? Why this got to be a problem from us? Such and such. I've never had this problem in the past, which is one of the worst things that you can do. So just understanding that not everything a woman communicates deserves a huge conversation or fallout. It's just acknowledging that there may be an issue and giving her opportunity to work through those things.
And fellas, what I want y'all to do just in general is really create a high standard, really set the standard to your communication. Like, don't ever even get into name calling with your lady. Like, don't even start those. Don't open Pandora's box of name calling. Even early in a relationship, like my standard, I'm pretty tough on that. Like my standard, even when a young lady's joking and she might even mess around and throw around the word nigga. Like she might say something like, nigga stop, or like, nigga you. However casually
I take high
she
offense
might
to that.
use
I'm not gonna
it.
flex you. High offense.
Address
to
that early.
Yeah.
Be like, nah. To be honest, be like, hey, look, Shanice, listen. Look, let's not even. I preference you not use that word. That's it. You ain't got to go too crazy. And typically, honestly, when you actually set that standard, most women actually gain a lot of respect for you. Oh, my bad. I didn't even know. I was just, they'll usually actually go into a major defense, but they understand that this is a place of respect. And it's just certain boundaries you don't want to cause. Keep a high standard for how you communicate. And another thing too, you actually brought this up because when we just talked about being a man of your word, right? Let's talk about how women communicate, because women are not necessarily men of their word. Women communicate very much so differently.
They communicate how they feel. Yes. Not necessarily as things actually are.
Yes. So we got to learn to read between the lines. We have to learn. You got to understand a man is a man of his word. A woman is an oracle.
I give y'all a good example of that. So I had a buddy. He tells me the story all the time. It's so funny. But he was on a date with his lady, and he was asking her if she wanted to, they were actually headed to dinner. Now, the thing about it is something she was doing, she got ready pretty late, so they ended up where they were going to be an hour late for their dinner reservation, and if they actually pushed through with the dinner, then they were going to be an hour late to the show that they was going to at the Fox. So, at some point, he's just like, hey, they agreed that, hey, this is not the best idea for us to actually hit dinner together. So instead, let's just be extra early for the show. They go to the show. They end up having a great time. Now, afterward, he asks his lady, he's like, hey, it's not very much open, okay? So I don't have many options. Let's just go home and cook. Now, she says, hey, you know what? Instead of going home, let's just go to get McDonald's. And he's looked at her, and he's like, well, I thought you didn't like McDonald's. And she's like, I never said that. And he's like, no. Not only have you told me you don't like McDonald's, on very specific occasions, on this date, when this happened, you said you didn't like McDonald's. And then on this date, after this happened, you said you didn't like McDonald's. And she refused to admit that she ever said she didn't like McDonald's. So they go and they get into this huge argument where he's going about and literally finding receipts to prove to her,
oh my God,
via text,
oh my
that
God,
she actually told him she didn't like McDonald's. So this was a big blowout. Needless to say, He ended up going home. She's pissed the whole night. She doesn't even want to sleep near him in the bed. And it was a huge issue that ended up spanning over about a week. And he tells me that stories because he is like, yo, that is when I realized that women communicate how they feel, not what's actually fact. So in that situation, I'm explaining this to you. Rather than ignore the fact that she said she didn't like McDonald's 10 times before, what he should have done was go ahead and give her what she wanted, which is McDonald's. And what he found out is that it wasn't that she didn't like McDonald's. What it was, on those 2 occasions, she just didn't want McDonald's. And if that is not one of the best examples of how a woman can communicate, because they will profusely tell you what they like and don't like on one hand, and then in a completely different situation, it's either I didn't say that, no, that's not true. So you really have to understand that a woman is sometimes going to communicate based on how she feels about a situation or a place or an incident, and not actually factually what's happening, which is completely different from how men communicate.
And see, and that's another, and give you another example, because just for guys who might be in this spot and you might be missing this, you come home, you're playing video games, okay? You in front of that thing, you going in, and she comes in and she screams at you. You're always on a video game. You're always on a game. So-and-so, you said that you was gonna clean the kitchen today, and you're on the game. You're like, babe, I'll clean the kitchen right after this. Just chill. I'll clean the kitchen right after this. Why you tripping? Yeah, but you said that you was gonna do it. You said you was gonna do it yesterday, and last time you did that, you was on the game, you forgot to do it. And you like, babe, just relax. I'm gonna clean the kitchen. I just got back home from work. I'm tired. I just want to play the game. Here's the thing too. What you gotta understand too, fellas, sometimes when your woman is going off on you, it's not even really about the game.
Yep.
It's about the fact that you are not on your game. It's about the fact that she notices that consistently in her, she's losing bro, the mic went out. She's losing trust. Okay, y'all can hear me? Boom. She's losing trust in your masculine direction as a man. And because she's losing trust in your masculine direction, it's now coming in the form of her complaining about this game.
Yeah, but it's
she
totally
doesn't
different.
trust your vision anymore. She doesn't trust your leadership. She no longer trusts the plan. She doesn't trust what we're in, because you have consistently not been keeping your word, and you have been showing her that you really not on your purpose. And if that starts to happen, the conversation might come in the form of game, and she's complaining about the dishes, but it's not dishes, fellas. Mm-hmm. And that's why the woman is an oracle. She doesn't speak very, and here's how you could mess up. You could start literally going back and forth about the dishes with this girl.
God damn, woman, I told you I was gonna clean them in 30 minutes.
You
can't wait 30 minutes.
Come on, now the dishes. This ain't got nothing to do with dishes. It has everything to do with you on your game, on your purpose, on your mission, and giving her that comfort to relax into her feminine, to just relax and trust that you are on your shit. Because a dude that's on his shit, he gets the least amount of bickering from a woman.
Yeah.
He gets the least amount of complaining, of agitation from a healthy woman, guys, by the way. Okay, now, again, not the dysfunctionals. The dysfunctionals will always be dysfunctional regardless of the environment you put them in. The healthy women, okay? That's the kind of environment that's going to take place. So I want y'all to remember this. Your lady is an oracle. She is not to be taken word for word every single time. In that situation, the way you might want to handle that is, babe, come here. Babe, come here.
That's a good one.
Come sit down. Come sit down. No, but you always want to, babe. Come here. Come here. Come here. But I don't, but stop, baby. Come sit down. Oh, she comes over there.
What?
She sits down. You probably just start kissing on her a little bit.
You want me to wash the
Stop
dishes?
acting like that. Uh-huh. Why you, baby? You know I just got home. I'm gonna take care of you. You give her love. You give her comfort in that space, and most importantly, you get on your shit, because even that's just a Band-Aid. but really you get on your shit. Because what we have to do is we can't always, and that's why women are so special, because they're like a check engine light for where we are as men. And that's why it's also so hard to manage women, because having a woman long term is probably the greatest level of accountability you can ever be held to as a man. Nobody's watching you or laying with you while you sleep, bro. Mm-hmm. They know how many shits you took that day. They know when you picked your nose. They know if you went to your doctor's appointments.
They know when your energy is different.
They know when you didn't wake up and work out that morning. They know when you're not praying as much as you're supposed to. They know all of these things. So it is the ultimate accountability partner. And the good and the bad comes with that.
And we got some, I'm sure we got some people in the chat that's just like, yo, things could be better. A woman could be communicating better. She could be doing all these things. But although that is true, we just have to consider, especially over time in a long-term relationship, we have to be honest. We are not always our best. And sometimes we don't have the patience to sit down and have this round table of discussions and this list prepared and with our talking points to iron this out very logically and openly. Sometimes we just prefer to be upset. And both women and men, of course, have their ways of expressing this types of level of frustration. And what we have to learn as both men and women is to understand how these issues might be communicated and how to respond when those issues are communicated. And I always like to give resources too, because some of these things, of course, you got to be in the game, you got to be in these relationships to figure out. But some issues and some things you really don't have to learn the hard way. You can actually find mentorship and understanding in reading, right? So I got this, and I talk about this book a lot because this book helped me a lot. And what's crazy is this book was actually recommended to me. I can't remember who it was from, but it's one of our audience members. And this was before the YouTube membership. She probably asked us to read this book 1,000 times before I finally went and bought it. And this is right here. It's G.S. Youngblood, The Masculine in the Relationship. It literally covers all the things, many of the things that me and Tyshawn are discussing now. And if you guys are looking for that book, if you go to the description in the bio, click the link right next to library. And it's going to be a host of books, both for men and women, that will give you some additional insight into how these things work. Because I've been in plenty of situations where I responded with frustration when a woman was communicating to me. And it could be something as simple, guys, as your woman wanting more time with you. Yeah. I remember I was in this relationship and Sundays was my day. Sundays was my day to just chill. And I'm at my lady's house at the time and I'm just chilling and I'm just resting. I had a hard week. We had worked like 13 or 14 days straight. And she just kept asking me like, how long you gonna be taking a nap? She just kept, it was like every 15 minutes. How long you gonna be taking a nap? And I'm like, an hour, 30 minutes, another hour. And I literally couldn't sleep because she kept literally asking me how long I was gonna take a nap. And at some point I'm like, God damn, I can't even get 30 minutes. That was my response. And man, that was horrible. Oh my God. That was like,
God damn it, woman.
Right.
I can't get 30 minutes of some goddamn sleep around here.
I was so mad.
Y'all know that's the angry black fed up man voice right there.
I'm telling you, bruh, angry and fed up. I'm like, all this damn work I'm doing, I can't even get 30 minutes. And really what comes to find out, you know, we worked through it and come to find out, you know, she was just going to be really busy that week. The last week, I had not given her the proper attention. And all she wanted to do, she literally was like, baby, I just like taking walks with you on Sundays. I know you work so hard. I know you grinding. Just give me an hour on Sundays. And if I would have been emotionally intelligent enough to recognize that it wasn't me taking a nap, but it could have been her asking for my attention, all I would have had to do is say, hey, you know what, baby? Give me an hour. And at 4 o'clock, I want to take a walk with you. And that, I promise you, I probably would have got a kiss, a glass of water, and a sandwich when I woke up. But instead, I got no sex that night and no love. And I was really frustrated. So, guys, I really want you to understand that you have to become an expert at deciphering all of this sign language and different ways of communicating that a woman has under her sleeve, so you could be best prepared to defeat it with kindness and strength, because that's all a woman is looking for in that situation.
It is. And here's what I want y'all to do. Because the phone's not working, I still want to be able to get y'all involved in the conversation. I want y'all to be able to go ahead, and I want my members, especially my members, okay? Put in here, ladies, I want y'all to type in here a time you disrespected your guy. Like what he did that you felt led to disrespect in the relationship, and what that act of disrespect was. Okay? What you and it might come out that some of y'all might expose that some of y'all are actually the toxic ones, but we're gonna see. I want you to put in here what he did for you to disrespect him and what that act of disrespect was. And my fellas, I want y'all to talk about, give me a time that a woman disrespected you. Just give me a time that a woman disrespected you, because all of us, again, disrespect could be different for different people. I want to see what that was.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I want everybody
give us
in
the
here.
dirt, too,
We got 600 people in here, and we only got 314 likes. So I need everybody to just quickly like the video, guys.
And join that
Please.
membership, by the way. That helps support what we got going on. Shout out to Shavers Nation. Shavers Nation just became an elite initiative. I love seeing that initiative, man.
Ooh.
Yo, that was a great idea, man, because I really like seeing that. And shout out to Vanita. VJ. That's what I'm going to call Vanita. Shout out to VJ. She says, I'm enjoying this more than any of the guests so far. Tyshawn and Ryan, the both of you have gained so much wisdom. I couldn't be more proud of you if you two were my sons. Man, yes. I received that, VJ.
I do receive that.
I am very much appreciative. We got the call-ins open or what?
Nah, listen, hell no, he ain't got it open. We're going to test the call-ins after the show, but right now, I need y'all to just work the chat. Y'all need to work the chat to get y'all involved in the conversation. We will have the call-ins ready next show for us, because our producer has dropped the call on the very first conversation.
Solo show, man.
The first solo show.
I really wanted to talk to the members and the audience. I was very excited for that, because we give a lot of time to our hosts. I mean, to the guests, and I love the guests. But don't get me wrong, I love sharing game too.
Well, wait, we got one here. Jessica actually said, "I already did, Tyshawn. I wasn't intentionally trying to disrespect him. I was just too honest with my word choice. I could have been more tactful." Now, here's the thing. So, quote unquote, too honest with my word choice. I don't know about that one. Now, I mean, can you unintentionally disrespect a man because you say something and you didn't, you may not have realized it? Like, I don't know. Yeah, yes, that can happen. Let's acknowledge that can happen. But I don't know if that was always unintentional, because sometimes when y'all ladies get emotionally revved up, y'all say some things, ladies, and y'all know what I mean. When y'all get emotionally engaged, y'all say some things that y'all wouldn't have said if you'd have just sat your behinds down and thought it over for at least an hour and came back. It would have been a different conversation. So I don't know. I'm side-eyeing that one, Jessica. I'm side-eyeing that one. She said, short version, I called him a coward because instead of exactly what he wanted, he said one thing, then changed it later when the time came. Now, the reality of the situation is, Jessica, he was a coward. But at the end of the day, when a man is saying one thing and changing it to another, which is a very cowardice thing to do, that's what we're talking about here in this show. You guys will then tend to become disrespectful, especially if that's not his first time, right? Now, it doesn't matter. If it's certain acts, it don't even matter if it's your first time. It's not much grace. If we get caught lying, if we get caught cheating, it's not much grace there. If it's your first time, people going to just wild out on you, because that's just a major offense. That just is what it is. But at the end of the day, right, there's nothing unintentional about calling a man a coward. I mean, coward? Come on now. I want to see some other things here. I want to see some other things. We chatting it up with the members right now. I want to see what we got in here. Let me see some other things. Somebody said, "Is no such thing as disrespect. That's just a reason to be a victim." No, there's definitely a such thing as disrespect. I don't know what you and they talking about.
I cheated on my first boyfriend, but he wasn't treating me good. Told him the next day and broke up with him. That was disrespectful to him and myself. He did deserve it though.
Wait, say it again.
You didn't hear that?
You kind of sound like, and chat. Can y'all hear Ryan? Well, talking to Mike. Talking to Mike. Can you hear yourself?
Yes. No, I cannot hear myself.
Okay, we actually got to get Ryan's mic right. So we got this here. Let me see here.
So I was reading this from KN. She said she cheated on her first boyfriend, but he wasn't treating her good. I told him the next day and broke up with him. That was disrespectful to him and myself. He did deserve it though. Yeah,
you cheated on your first.
Yeah.
See, cheating, and guys, understand cheating.
Lack of respect.
When cheating happens, if it's and here's the thing: marriage rules and boyfriend girlfriend rules is different, right? Because I mean, right now, y'all listen, y'all know, y'all have heard many of our speakers come on here and talk about how men are willing. Men be talking tough on the internet, but men be staying in these marriages that's cheating happening. I'm not telling y'all that I'm strong enough here as a man to stay in no marriage once a woman has cheated on me. But what I am saying is that based on my levels of discernment at this point in my life, God willing, but based on my discernment, I doubt I will select a woman who's healthy enough to want to cheat on me or sleep with another man while she's in a relationship with me, especially a healthy one. So if a woman goes as far as to cheat on you, especially if she's, and here's what I mean when I say a healthy woman, another strong man can take this woman and build with this woman, and she will be loyal to him. She will be fruitful with him. And the brother that mismanaged him, now she's wilding out and acting up. Y'all women would be like, no, I would never cheat. No, I would break up before I. No. Listen, if y'all get to a certain point, you'll be surprised what you'll do.
Right.
Like fellas included. Y'all just haven't been pushed to certain corners and places in y'all relationship. But at the point where infidelity is happening in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, it might be, we might just have to just go ahead and just go ahead and toss that one, player. Start fresh, work on yourself.
I agree with that. So I do agree with that. I do think that once, assuming you're not in a marriage, I can't speak for if you're married, but if you're in a girlfriend, boyfriend situation and your lady cheats on you, it's just a wrap. Like, go ahead and scrap it and start over. And the thing is, at that point, she has literally lost all respect for you. So it's literally no connection. So in my firm opinion, I would suggest you go ahead and walk away from that one.
I started seeing someone while dating a guy because he said we would talk about making things official soon, but months went by and that conversation never happened. That's some weak disrespect right there. That ain't no real disrespect. That's weak.
No. It's some disrespect out there. I mean, and this is the thing, like, I do want to say that women can get a little bit out of pocket sometimes, but it's men disrespecting themselves. And the thing is, guys, you have to understand that men judge how they feel about you. Tyshawn got his eyebrows up. Must be something big.
God.
Read this one. What's this one?
Now, this is not a member, but this is Marianne. Join the membership right now, okay?
What she say? What she say?
I disrespected one of the guys I was dating because he was beta, and I made him fly me for everything, and I didn't do anything for him. I was very mean to him, and no sex. Wow.
Thanks for being honest.
And see,
many men in that situation right now, actually.
And that's another thing too, because man, a lot of times, and y'all got to be careful, fellas, because women, especially women respect strength, guys. Okay, they respect strength, especially from the masculine. Women are they're hard. Some of them will be nice and say, oh, you're just not my type, or it's not you, it's me. But at the end of the day, women only want to build, procreate, and give themselves with men that they absolutely respect.
700 in the room, baby.
And respect.
Let's get it.
And let me tell you, respect comes from performance. Respect comes from within. Respect comes from results. Respect comes from who you are as a man, your character. And that's how they respect you. And at the point where you're dealing with a woman who sees you as a beta, like this young woman described.
First off, for her to even use the word beta is insane. So he must have been really weak.
God. I want to see too, Marianne.
And the thing is, and this is the thing about women, guys. Once they get to the point where they don't have respect for you, they lose all respect for you, and there's no connection, there's no love, there's no reason. And the thing is, you ask a woman, hey, why did you do that? They will simply say, well, he should have been being a man.
Yep.
So if you prove to show yourself as not a man, a woman will treat you like not a man, and she will run over you, and she will max out as on your resources as much as possible until you either run out of resources or you finally decide to put your foot down and say no. And I can really only blame the man for that, because you are responsible for your resources and how you steward over them. And if you decide to invest in a woman that's not reciprocating or giving you anything in return, then you really the dummy. So guys, we cannot blame women for the situations that we put ourselves in, because nobody asks you to pay for that flight. Nobody asks you to continue to send this lady MoneyGrams and wires every week to pay her rent and to pay for her to go meet other men and to get sexy and dress for other men. Nobody forced you, I should say, to do that. You decided to make that decision on your own, so you alone are responsible for the consequence. And I think this is very important that guys understand this as well. When you're in a situation where you're getting disrespected by a woman, I want you guys to know men will be men. And not only will men look at that relationship and look at that level of disrespect or lack of respect that woman is showing you, those men will begin to find very creative ways and sometimes very overt ways to encroach on that relationship. They will sleep with your chick.
Yeah.
Your friend will sleep with your chick.
Yeah.
I don't put it past anybody. Now, this is the thing. You need to have good friends that regardless of what type of situation you in, they would never step over those boundaries. But guys, men will be men. And if your woman don't have respect for you and it's a continuing thing, those men in your group will also lose respect for you. So you have to be very careful in terms of how you present yourself amongst those men and how your relationship looks from the outside. And we've been in groups. Unfortunately, we've been in groups for guys we don't we don't associate ourselves with, but we've been in a situation where we've had a guy within that friend group actually get his woman, I don't know what hit, slay. I'm trying to make love to.
Another guy in the group.
Another guy in the group actually slept with this guy's woman.
Yeah, and they were friends for quite some time.
Yeah.
And now we get into some of the dark realities of the world right now. And guys, I'm gonna be honest, one of the biggest indicators that a woman is not gonna respect you, that men are not gonna respect you, is if you don't respect yourself. Like, fellas, you have to have respect for yourself. Like, you can look at a lot of this stuff, and when guys get disrespected, man, it's so dangerous because they can run into this place. They can get so angry at the world because they've been disrespected and what's happened to them. They can feel like such a victim that's really when they be like, okay, and that's the day that a villain was born. And they can really become a villain and compromise even the good in them and what they could be, because now they just have so much anger and hatred and hurt built up for what was happened. But you have to understand that all of that happened to you because you were not your best self at that point. So what you got to do is you really have to, at that point, work on self. And how do you build respect for yourself as a man if you do not respect yourself? If you feel like your friends do not respect you as a man, if you feel like the women in your life are not respecting you, what you do is you have to work on your discipline. Focus completely on your discipline. And let's actually talk about that too, because I want to talk about how men can actually build discipline, grow their discipline, because what you need to do at that point is you need to prove to yourself why you're worthy of respect. You have to earn your own respect at that point when you don't respect yourself. You have to earn it. And one thing I love to do, one thing I think is a very healthy way for men to conquer. It's a lot of different ways, guys. It's a lot. But one way you can conquer that is through fitness. Tell yourself you're going to do 10 push-ups and actually start small and do those 10 push-ups every single day. Make small commitments, accomplish it. The reason I say fitness is because you immediately, after you do 10 push-ups, you look in the mirror, your chest is a little bit bigger. You get this instant gratification. You get these instant results, and it almost incentivizes you and inspires you to want to do it again.
Just clears you
and
up
to want to
mentally
stay
as well.
consistent. And it also has a lot of mental benefits.
I mean, the level of confidence that can grow from working out is really insane.
It is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
You know, so I know we talking about a little bit of personal development, but I want to talk to the younger guys because it's the things that the guys between, I would say, 18 and like 25 are doing that I see that I'm just like, because, you know, the thing is, I don't know if you guys know, when Tyshawn and I had our real estate company, we had a lot of young men working for us. And what we've often found is that the young men needed coaching in terms of personal growth and development and relationships more than they actually needed coaching at exactly what the job was. And there's a few things that I saw that many of these young men would do. One of the things is not protecting the woman. And this is what I mean by that. You got 5 niggas at your house playing a game, and your woman stops by.
Living in a roommate situation.
Living in a roommate situation. And you allowing your woman to be around these 5 men, talking like they want to talk, dressing like they want to talk, right? You got a roommate. You come over, your lady come over, your roommate is on the couch in his drawers without his shirt. And you allowing your roommate to just be around while you bring your lady around. Right? Men notice all these types of things. Women notice all these types of things. And you wondering why your roommate is dating your chick. Right? Because you wasn't protecting what you supposed to be caring about.
Yeah.
Another thing that I see a lot of young
because
men
again, you don't have boundaries.
Right.
And you don't have the balls to have an uncomfortable conversation, because that would cause you got to rock the boat and you got to check your boy. Yo, bro, put some drawers on, my lady here. You don't want to say that. You don't want to have that moment where he might then challenge you, and you guys got to go back and forth or whatever the case is. So you just withdraw altogether and just let everything play out as it is. And you now are just a victim in the situation. You are now just a piece of cardboard in the ocean, moving and letting it take you wherever it go, instead of you actually taking a stance for how you need to in that situation. But go ahead.
And you don't think women see that? You don't think the woman is recognizing who's the leader in that situation and who's the masculine male in that situation? And you letting your woman be around with some dude got his shirt off or some dude having foul language in front of your chick? You got to have respect for yourself first and demand respect for your lady. Another thing guys are doing, young guys especially, what they do is when the guys are talking, and you know, me and Tyshawn talk about this a lot, when the guys are talking and they ask about that girl you've been dating, and you try to play, oh no, that's just some shawty I'm kicking it with. Oh yeah, I don't really like her like that. Mm-hmm. You don't represent for your lady, and you don't show that respect amongst these men in front of your lady, she will find out, because those same men that are amongst you will take passes at that woman that you don't want to claim.
Right.
So guys, you need to be very upfront about your emotions and how you're really feeling about these women. Because if you don't set claim to them, somebody else will try to set claim to them.
Yes. And in general, here's the last one I want to get to, because I think this is a very important one. And the ladies, I think, will attest to this. Another major reason that you are getting disrespected in your relationship. And here it is. You have no plan. You have no vision. You have no mission. You are a drifter as a man. Fellas, we talked about this already in the early in the conversation. A woman is here to help you. They need something to help. They need something to be a part of. They need to know where we're going. If they begin to question that you are not in control or in the driver's seat at this point, it's going to get crazy. Have you ever been in a car with somebody and you question whether the hell they know where they're going? Don't you realize you get real aggressive with this person?
Right.
Like, hey, bro, did you put in the GPS?
Right.
Like, bro, what's going on? Hold on, wait. Stop. Let me ask somebody over here. They start taking control of the situation. You start taking control because you no longer trust that this person is going to get you to the destination that y'all supposed to be going to. Guys, this goes back to purpose. This goes back to purpose, being on your purpose and being on your plan. And I've read so many, I'm really fascinated by the concept of purpose. I've read so many books on purpose. My favorite one of my favorites is Dr. Miles Monroe. He wrote so many books on purpose. I said The Purpose and Power of Men so many times. He wrote another book about purpose. I can't think off the top of my head. David Dieter, which Ryan has here, The Way of a Superior Man, wrote on purpose here, which is another great read for all men.
This is a must read, by the way. Every book I'm showing is a must read. Let's be real.
Absolutely. And see, let's talk about David Dieter's. David Dieter's describes purpose as an onion. And I want to talk about this too, because some guys, I know we talk about finding your purpose, okay? Finding your purpose, which is cool, but don't just be sitting your ass down thinking that you're going to find your purpose.
Looking.
Okay? You need to go work to your purpose. Take action to go towards your purpose. I'm not saying you don't meditate and you don't reflect and you don't stay tapped in. But listen, if you do that, it's a series together. You work and reflect. You work and reflect, but you work to your purpose. That's how you get tapped in with your purpose. And the way David describes it is that it's an onion. And as a man goes through different phases of his life, what he does is he pull backs. He's everlasting. He's peeling back different layers of his purpose to get to his deepest core purpose. So, for example, with myself, I started off corporate America, didn't like it, hated it, didn't feel right with my system, like gut. That intuition, listen to that. Stay tapped into it, feel it. It felt wrong every single day. Now I take action. I start researching. I start looking. I start figuring out different possibilities for myself.
But you're still performing at your day job while you're doing that.
And I'm still performing at my highest level at everything that I'm doing. I put myself in a position. I find real estate. I love it. I put myself in a position. I buy my first house. Get a couple roommates in there. They paying my mortgage for me. Now I'm able to quit my job because now I've afforded myself this financial room. Now I can now get busy to go to this burning place that I don't really know where I'm going, but I feel like it's my next step. I end up running into 100% finance, this mentorship, this group. Ryan and JP is in their apartment working in a 1-bedroom ratchet ass co-op operation.
We was grinding though.
I heard that these young black men put up $600,000 in this house the previous year.
Yep.
I'm like, they know something I don't. Let me lean into this and figure out what's going on. I'm at the next layer of my purpose here.
Keep in mind, guys, when we hired Tyshawn, I told him, I said, listen, we can only afford to pay you $12 an hour for 20 hours a week. And Tyshawn came in that first week in that 1-bedroom. It's 3 of us now. We working. It was amazing. I'm like, this dude, he got talent. I'm like, he's not gonna stay around long. And he called me that Sunday. He said, yeah. He's like, yo, listen, I want to have a conversation with you tomorrow. And the first thing I did, it was maybe like 10 o'clock. I called JP and I'm like, JP, he finna quit tomorrow. I'm like, there's no way this dude is gonna stay with us. And Tyshawn actually came in that morning and I was so nervous. I'm like, damn, we finna lose him. And he came in very maturely, sat us down, and he was like, guys, for me to really get accomplished what I want to do here, with all the opportunity that I see here, there's no way that I can get this done in 20 hours a week. So I know that you guys can't afford to pay me for a full 40, but I'm going to commit to a full 40. And that's when I knew he was a dog.
No, I was, because at the end of the day, for me, I'm not money motivated. I'm very purpose driven. I listen to myself. If it don't feel right, I can't do it. I can't give it my all. That felt right. That felt where I needed to be. It felt like home in that season of my life. We attacked it. We went all in. We hit it. We built it. We built an amazing 7-figure business. I advanced in ways I never knew, but that season was over. And now me and Ryan went off to start our own real estate company. We didn't have everything together. We didn't know exactly what we were supposed to do. Everything wasn't perfect. There was very low levels of certainty, but it felt right. And we moved into it. And that's the thing too. You always got to be living right on your edge. Fellas, discomfort, invite it. Comfort is not what we're looking for. We're not looking for comfort, right? We're looking for fulfillment. And that's a very big difference.
There's no growth in comfort.
There's absolutely no growth at all in me and Ryan jump into a company very uncomfortably.
Yeah.
Not much capital because we've never been good money managers.
Well, back then we were not good stewards over the money. So I was making, well into the 6 figures, and whatever I was making, I was spending. And most of the time I was spending it on having a good time with the employees, with the staff. But we was still in a position to where we had to leverage credit to really get the business going. So in that position, although it was risky, we still understood the mission.
Yeah.
And we understood what we wanted to get out of it. And of course, 3 years later, we've been able to transition the success from that business into this business.
And see and that's just that. We get into that real estate company. We build it against so many odds, you guys. Against so many times we doubted ourselves.
Yeah.
Against so many times it made so much practical sense to quit. So many times, if we just looked at our finances and watched a damn financial YouTube video, we would have saw that we broke every law and we should not have been doing what we were doing. Went deeply into debt, and still to build something that was amazing, was able to feed over 20, 25 people.
And change people's
here
lives, yeah.
and around the world, employ so many people, groom so many people, get people to the next level, and also was the birthplace of Hardly Initiated,
Yeah.
where now we're moving into this next layer of our purpose. And that's what it is. It's a constant. First of all, Hardly Initiated is not here because we want to get all this money.
Facts.
First of all, if somebody
Let me tell
wants
you.
to get rich and they say, I'm going to build a podcast,
Not a good
I'm going to
idea.
spend all day talking your ass out of that. Because this is a purpose-driven decision for me and Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a decision for me and Ryan that was money motivated. And when a woman comes into your life and she sees you building, she sees you going after something, she wants to take part of that. She's like, a great woman sees you building a podcast and like, oh man, have you thought about doing a topic on this?
Oh yeah.
Have you thought about doing this? She's gonna have the tools on her tool belt that you need to build whatever the architectural design is. If I need a hammer, she probably gonna have one.
Mm-hmm.
If I need a screwdriver, babe.
Right.
But when you're not building anything, when you don't have a mission, when you don't have a plan, that disrespect, fellas, it's on the way. Okay.
And I think men want women to just sit on the sideline while they get their shit together. And that's just not how women work. Now, of course, if you shown a history of success and a track record of getting things done, of course, that woman is going to stick beside you and give you some level of grace period while you do get your things together. But to think that she's going to be in that position for an indefinite period, you kidding yourself.
Yeah.
Because a woman wants to get active.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting active, she's still going to get active. And instead of constructing, she's going to start deconstructing.
Yeah.
Right? So as men, we have to understand that we can't wait around. We have to take action. And at no point is it going to be perfect. And one of the things that I tell my friends all the time, because they're just like, Ryan, I'm so impressed with you and not because Ryan makes a lot of money or because Ryan has a team or because Ryan and Tyshawn is on the internet, but they're impressed because I do what I say I'm going to do. Let me tell you, this was over 2 years ago. I'm in Mexico. I'm hanging out in Puerto Vallarta, and they calling me the young Kevin Samuels, right? And they joning me. They joning me, talking about you think you Kevin Samuels, not understanding that a part of my vision was to have a platform to teach men in a way that is still respectful of women, right? They didn't understand those things, right? So you have to understand as a man, the situation is not going to be perfect. And I tell my friends who get into this situation where they're very apprehensive about doing something new, I'm like, you have to look at your track record. If you already have a habit of being successful, right? You already got a habit of being number one at your corporation. You already got a habit of being one of the top performers in the gym. You already got a habit of being the person that your family members call on to lean on, whether they need counsel or need finances. What makes you think that just because you decide to take your talents to a different field, that the result will be different?
Yep.
Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to get the result immediately. But what it means is that if you commit to the activities, and you allow yourself room to make mistakes and still remain patient, eventually the result will come.
Yeah.
So we don't even think about quitting. We done got into so many things with this pod.
Oh my God.
We tried to launch the app. that went
Sour.
right, to say the least. We done tried to do a lot of things and it didn't work out. But because we know that we are here to get to the finish line when it comes to making an impact on our community through Harley Initiated, we don't ever think about quitting. It's not even something that comes up.
Nah.
But that's because we're not committed to the financial goal, right? We committed to our purpose. And our purpose is helping others. So guys, I want you to figure that out, but it's not waiting around to figure it out. It's not waiting for all of the conditions to be perfect.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not waiting till you get support.
Yeah.
And Tyshawn could tell you that all of our family and friends were not necessarily the most supportive. And this happens too. And it's not because our family, we got ain't shit families. It's simply because our families care about us. And when people care about you and you telling them that you're getting ready to do something different, by nature, they're going to be worried. By nature, they may not give you their full, undying, loyal support.
Yeah.
But if you know you are in the pursuit of something greater, then you know you're going to be good.
Tips, guys, for the people that want to, my number one tip that I can give you guys, for my people that is my fellas that's just a little lost out there and they don't have their purpose. They feel like they don't have it. They're not in tune with it. The number one thing that I would tell you, man, that would instantly help you and change that, bro, get around somebody that know theirs, bro. Get as close as you can to somebody who is deeply entrenched in their purpose. Get around that blazing fire, because that's what it is. It's a fire, bro. Somebody who's in tune with their purpose, who's excited about what they're working towards, what they're building. They're excited to wake up every day. They're excited to tell you what they're building. They're excited to tell you what's going on. They're even excited to tell you about some of the problems sometimes, some of the things that they're figuring out.
Right.
They're excited around that. It is infectious. It is infectious if you get around that person. Please, that's the number one thing for someone, and the simplest for someone that is lost. If you don't have anybody like that in your friend group, go to a networking group. Go to events where those people might be. Yes, Harley Initiated gonna be having events. Y'all better be up in there if you think that's you. Okay? Go into places where you can get around people who are tapped in with theirs, and I promise you, that energy will move to you, and it will be so motivating. It will be such a polarizing effect between what you and them have, that you will have a fire lit up under you. You would have an inspiration that you've probably never had, where you either will start searching, and if you like me, I just want to join a winning team altogether. I want to be on the team of a person that I admire, just so I can get as close as absolutely possible. So that's my number one tip for a guy that's in that space. Somebody that's really trying to find a purpose.
Which is a good question. Somebody asks, hey, well, why didn't y'all start a podcast about real estate? So I'll be real with you. We actually did. It went from ideation to flat because it was just whack. And I think Tyshawn, did you ever actually shoot one?
No. It was an idea. I mean,
it just never kind of got
honestly, moving. No. We thought about starting a business podcast, never a real estate podcast.
Right.
But see, understand, the business podcast, I didn't feel that same. See, I knew even my business podcast that I was going to start, it was always money and relationship. It might have ended up turning into this anyway, right? But see, the thing about it is, I didn't feel like real estate was connected to my purpose.
Yeah.
I felt like real estate was a season of my purpose. And that's a big difference. I didn't feel like that was the next layer of where I should have been going to. And as me and Ryan communicated, just luckily, I have a brother here, a partner, that our purposes are aligned and connected to where it is. And as long as our purposes are connected and we can advance as men together, we're stronger, we're better, we're faster together. But if there's a season where Ryan felt like he got to go somewhere else and I do, we might have to do that. Right. If that's where our purpose lead us.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. You will listen. What Jordan and Pippen did back from 90 all the way to 95, 96, they can call each other up, laugh about it, and they made history.
That was legendary.
It was legendary what happened there. But that's the thing. I'm not starting no real estate podcast if that's not connected to where I'm supposed to be. And guys, what I need y'all to do right now, because we still creeping up there, We got about 600 people in here and only 400 likes. Please, guys, continue to like the show.
Yeah.
As that helps us. And I want to see some more members joining here. We have some new members joining here. Let's shout some of these members out.
So this is the thing, guys. I want to shout out a few members. Shout out to Reman, Donald Morton. Looks like Reman might be he might be putting out content. That's dope. Reman, I like that. Shout out to Rhonda Morrison. Shout out to Judith. Judith been with us for a minute. She's still rocking with us. Judith Sakala.
he in his Bible talk right now.
Right. And shout out to OK Candace. So guys, we really appreciate you guys joining the membership. And I think I might have mentioned this earlier, guys, but we are going to launch monthly challenges every month, starting this month. Now, this month, we're going to take it easy on the challenge. And what we're going to do is actually a virtual event. I believe the event is scheduled for September 28th, which is a Thursday at 8 p.m. So all of our members, you guys are going to get the update. So be patient with us while we get all our back end tightened up. But we're going to do a virtual event. We're going to have y'all come up, ask questions. We're going to actually get to see you guys virtually before we actually get to meet you guys in person. We're going to have some special guests come on. We're going to be celebrating many of our accomplishments, including 100,000 YouTube subs.
Yeah.
I'm sure by then, I'm sure the next few weeks we'll have over 350 members. And of course, our 2-year anniversary is in September from when we actually shot our first 10 episodes.
Yes.
And then of course, we end up dropping the first 10 on November 1st.
Yeah, so for the members, we're going to take your experience to the next level. We're going to start doing some really cool things just for you guys. Make sure that YouTube board, the post board, we're going to get very active on that. So listen, make sure you stay on YouTube. The members see a board. We post things just for them. We ask questions. I want you guys to stay engaged in there so we can continue to bring the people you want to see, the right guests you want to see. And also, we can also start doing some of the fun stuff we're going to be doing on there as well. And listen, for the Ryan and Ty episodes here, this was something that we wanted to do special for you guys because we always bring in guests on here. If you like me and Ryan's solo episodes, I want y'all to drop solo in the chat. I want to see the word solo. If y'all want to see more me and Ryan's solo episodes here, because this might be something that we do more often, as a lot of people, again, the members have been asking, they've been requesting, hey, I want to see you and Ty talk a little bit more. So go ahead and put that in the chat so we can know. We use all this information. We take everything you guys tell us very seriously.
Right.
Because this platform is not for us. Actually, one of the things my mentor used to always tell me, the same mentor that asked me and checked me about what I did with that young lady, my pops. He always said this. He said, Ty, our lives are not for us. And it's the truth. And the platform is indicative of that. So you guys giving us feedback, you guys telling us what we want, the more we get to know you and learn what you need, we will feed what you need. So just tell us what you need, and we're going to do our best to bring you it at the highest level.
And make sure, guys, to hit that like button and join that channel membership, guys. And I'm going to drop this in the chat, too. Because, and be patient with us, guys. Go ahead and drop your phone number and your email on here, all right? Right here in this link I'm about to drop. And it should take us probably by the end of the week. We're going to have the emails up. And the very first thing we're going to send you guys is our top 10 dating questions and the top 10 connection questions, guys. So be patient with us, because all of this stuff is not only in the works. Well, no, that's what it is. It's all in the works. That's exactly what it is. It's all in the works. And it takes time. It takes time for us to get real right for y'all.
My girl, Nora Steves, said, congratulations, young man. I'm so proud of the both of you. I have 2 single daughters.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen,
that's
Nora,
hilarious. And I think we could really go ahead and just about close this one out, man. I want to make sure,
this was fun. This was fun.
Yeah, this was fun. We love connecting with you guys. The next time we do this, we're going to make sure we got them phone lines working so we can make sure we get you guys on and actually have a little bit more conversation. But go ahead.
Real quick. So with the post, so if you look at just the post, it's the community post on the YouTube tab. By next week, we should have started posting at least 2 times a week. We're going to hit you with the latest news and updates. We're going to hit you with surveys and polls. We're going to start soliciting our members for transformational content. We're going to be letting you guys know exactly what's going on with the challenges and making sure you're abreast of everything that's going on with the platform, behind the scenes photos, special stuff. We also working on the exclusive content as well. So all that is coming. But what I wanted to tell you guys is that let us know on that recent post that we dropped. Let us know what specific content you want to see from myself and Tyshawn.
Yes.
And let us know, what was the last thing?
The guests, show topics.
Show topics, guests.
Show topics, guests.
Damn, I
who
can't,
they want to
I can't
see.
remember. I can't remember what it was.
It was show topics, guest, and
It's one more thing. I got to think.
You got to
about
write
that.
it down.
Yeah, we got to.
You got to write that joint down.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's gonna come back to him. But listen, I wanna really thank and appreciate everybody that supports the platform and that always stay active with us. I need everybody on here right now to please just do us this favor before you leave. I need you to press that like button and subscribe, because our goal is to grow this. I told you this is connected to why we're here, and growth and excellence is tied in and sewed in deeply to all we do. And you guys are a big part of how we get there. You guys, just a simple like, a simple subscribe helps us take this thing to the very next level, guys. I think that's just about it for you guys. Ryan already dropped the link to our the 10. First of all, those dating questions, we took some time. Y'all suck at asking questions on dates, y'all. You know y'all suck at it. Everybody's been telling us that's one of their weakest parts.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't vetting these men properly. Men, y'all not vetting these women properly. And because of that, we having a lot of issues. So we gave you 10 dating questions and 10 connection questions. I need you to go ahead, click that link.
And we're gonna be.
It's absolutely free, guys. It's free. It's free. Just click it and download it, okay?
We actually actively use those to really get that deep connection and during those days. So we're gonna do something creative, man, because I want to bring you all into a little bit of the reality.
Yeah.
The little dating reality. Maybe we'll do something cool.
Yeah. We got a lot of fun stuff on the way, man.
Yeah.
In short. But listen, I appreciate you guys. I absolutely love you guys. I thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Hardly Initiated. Yeah. We are out.